You've been walking your whole life, since before you can remember, and right now, you probably think you're doing it right. But here's what nobody tells you after 50. The way you walk today may be quietly setting you up for a fall, a fracture, or a pain that doesn't go away. And the terrifying part, most people don't realize it until the damage is already done. Think about the last time you walked somewhere, to the kitchen, to the car, around the block. Did you think about how you were walking? Almost nobody does. And that's exactly the problem, because after the age of 50, your body is no longer the same machine it was at 30. Your joints are changing. Your balance systems are shifting. Your muscles are quietly losing mass in ways you can't feel, until they become dangerous. And walking, something so automatic, so human, can either protect your body or slowly break it down. Today, I'm going to show you 7 walking mistakes that are incredibly common after 50. And I want to be honest with you, you are probably making at least 3 of them right now. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could genuinely protect the rest of your life. Mistake number 1. Looking down while you walk. Let's start with the one that surprises people the most. Where are your eyes when you walk? If you're like most people over 50, they're pointed at the ground. Maybe you're watching your step. Maybe you're afraid of tripping. Maybe it's just become a habit you never once questioned, and it feels safe, doesn't it? Like you're being careful. But here's what most people never realize. Looking down while you walk actually makes you more likely to fall, not less. Here's the science, and it's genuinely fascinating. Your body uses something called proprioception, your internal sense of where your limbs are in space. It works in beautiful coordination with your gaze. When your eyes are focused forward and level, your brain receives accurate spatial data. It knows where the ground is. It knows where you are. Your balance system stays calibrated, but the moment you tilt your head down, everything shifts. Your center of gravity moves forward, your neck compresses, your lower back arches to compensate, and your brain loses the horizon reference it uses to keep you stable. You feel like you're being careful, but your body is quietly being placed under stress with every single step. I want you to think about someone you love who is over 60, a parent, an aunt or uncle, maybe a neighbor you've known for years. Have you noticed how they walk? Head down, slow, a little uncertain? That posture isn't simply age. A large part of it is habit, a habit that started exactly like yours, with looking down just to be safe. And over years, it reshapes the entire way a person moves through the world. The fix is simpler than you think. Lift your gaze to about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you when you walk. Let your chin stay parallel to the ground. Relax your neck. Within a few days of practicing this, people report feeling more stable, less fatigued after walks, and surprisingly, more confident in how they move. Your body was designed to walk tall. Let it. Mistake number 2. Taking steps that are too long. Here's something that almost nobody explains clearly enough. After 50, your stride length naturally changes. Your hip flexors, the muscles that pull your leg forward, begin losing flexibility. Your glutes lose some of their firing power. Your ankle joints become less mobile. These are normal biological changes. They are not your fault. But here's where things become dangerous. Most people don't accept this change. They keep trying to walk with the long, confident strides they had at 35. And in doing so, they create a mechanical pattern that places enormous strain on the knees, hips, and lower back. Think of it this way. Every time you reach your foot out too far in front of your body, you create what's called a braking force. Your body has to work harder to pull itself forward over that foot. And that extra force travels directly up into your joints. Every single step, thousands of times a day. Research in biomechanics has consistently shown that overstriding is one of the primary contributors to joint degeneration in adults over 50. But that conversation almost never reaches the people who need it most. There's a man I want you to think about. Let's call him David, 63 years old, retired, active his whole life, proud of the fact that he still walked 5 miles every morning. He came to his doctor not because of a sudden injury, but because of a grinding ache in his right knee that had quietly been building for 2 full years. 2 years. The diagnosis wasn't complicated. The cause wasn't mysterious. It was the way he walked. Long, aggressive strides that his aging joints could no longer absorb without cost. He shortened his stride. He slowed down slightly. He focused on landing with his foot beneath his center of mass, not far in front of it. Within 6 weeks, the pain had reduced by more than half. Not surgery, not medication, just walking the way his body actually needed him to walk. Have you ever felt a dull ache in your knees or hips after a walk and wondered where it came from? Most people blame age automatically, but sometimes the answer is simpler and far more fixable than that. Mistake number 3, wearing the wrong shoes, or worse, worn out ones. I know, you've heard this before, but stay with me, because what most people don't understand about shoes after 50 goes far deeper than simple comfort. After 50, the fat pad that naturally cushions the bottom of your foot begins to thin. It's called fat pad atrophy, and it is one of the most under-discussed physical changes of aging. That padding, which you never had to think about in your 30s, was quietly absorbing shock with every step you ever took. As it thins, that shock travels further. Into the heel, up into the ankle, the knee, the hip, the lower spine. And most people are walking around in shoes that are making this dramatically worse. Shoes with thin soles, flat soles, or soles that were once cushioned but have compressed over months of use and now offer almost nothing. Here's the question most people never think to ask themselves. When was the last time you replaced your walking shoes? If the answer is longer than 12 months ago, and you walk regularly, there is a very real chance your shoes have already lost the structural support your body needs. The midsole of most walking shoes, the soft layer between the outer rubber and your foot, compresses and breaks down long before the outside of the shoe shows any visible wear. So the shoe looks fine, but it is no longer doing its job. This is where the silent damage happens. And it is not just cushioning. After 50, arch support becomes critically important. As the tendons and ligaments in your foot naturally loosen with age, insufficient arch support can accelerate the collapse of your foot's natural structure, contributing to plantar fasciitis, knee misalignment, and hip imbalance that slowly works its way through your entire body. The right shoe after 50 is not just about comfort, it is about protecting a chain reaction that travels all the way up your spine. Mistake number 4, not using your arms when you walk. This one might seem strange, but give me 30 seconds and you will understand why it matters more than almost anything else on this list. When you walk, your body is designed to move as a complete system. Your right arm swings forward when your left leg steps forward. Your left arm swings when your right leg moves. This cross-body rhythm is called the reciprocal gait pattern, and it is not just natural. It is neurologically essential. That arm swing does 3 things that people rarely appreciate. It counterbalances the rotation of your hips, reducing the twisting strain on your lower spine. It drives momentum forward, reducing how hard your legs have to work. And it activates neural pathways that coordinate both hemispheres of your brain, keeping your balance system sharp and your movements efficient. Now here is what happens after 50. People begin to self-restrict their arm movement. Maybe they are carrying something. Maybe they have developed shoulder stiffness. Maybe they simply stopped thinking about it long ago. They walk with their arms held close, stiff, barely moving, and the body compensates. The lower back begins rotating more than it should. The hips take on extra work. The stride becomes shorter and more shuffled. Balance quietly deteriorates, and none of it feels connected to the arms. So nobody makes the connection. Doctors rarely explain this clearly, but the arm swing is as important to safe, efficient walking as the steps themselves. Next time you go for a walk, let your arms move naturally. Bend them gently at the elbow. Allow the movement to feel relaxed and rhythmic. You may feel slightly self-conscious at first, but your spine will thank you for it. Mistake number 5. Walking while tense. And this one is personal, because it is not just physical. After 50, life carries a different kind of weight. Maybe you are thinking about your health, your finances, your children or grandchildren, a relationship that has been difficult, a diagnosis you are trying not to think about too deeply. And that emotional weight lives in the body. It lives in raised shoulders, a tight jaw, a chest that never fully opens, hands gripped around a phone as though letting go would mean losing control of something. Most people who walk for exercise genuinely believe they are helping their stress levels. And walking truly is one of the most powerful stress reduction tools available to human beings. But when you walk in a state of tension, shoulders up, breath shallow, mind racing through every worry, you lose most of that benefit. Your nervous system stays in a low-grade fight-or-flight state. Your muscles, already working to carry you forward, are simultaneously bracing against imagined threats. Your breathing becomes shallow, reducing oxygen efficiency. And the cortisol your body generates from stress doesn't get the deep breathing and nervous system reset it needs to clear. You finish the walk feeling like you exercised. But you don't feel the peace that walking is supposed to give you. Here's what changes everything. Before you take your first step, take 3 slow and deliberate breaths. Drop your shoulders consciously. Unclench your jaw. Open your hands. Then walk. That single ritual, just 30 seconds before a walk, has been shown to shift the nervous system toward a calmer, more restorative state, making the entire walk more healing for your heart, your mood, and your mind. Your body knows how to heal itself. Sometimes it just needs you to get out of its way. Have you ever finished a walk and still felt anxious, tight, or mentally cluttered? Tell me in the comments. You are far from alone in this. Mistake number 6. Always walking on flat, predictable surfaces. This one is subtle, and the consequences build so slowly that most people never connect the dots. After 50, one of the most important things your body needs is what exercise scientists call neuromuscular challenge. Your balance system, which depends on signals from your eyes, your inner ear, and thousands of tiny receptors in your feet and ankles, needs regular stimulation to stay sharp and responsive. When those receptors are not challenged, they become less sensitive. And a less responsive balance system is one of the most significant hidden contributors to falls in older adults. Falls are not random bad luck. They are very often the result of a balance system that has been quietly undertrained for years. Walking on the same flat, smooth surface every single day is comfortable, but it is also, in a very real way, training your body to fail the moment the ground changes. A curb, a patch of uneven ground in a parking lot, a slightly slippery floor in a restaurant. These are the moments where the gap between what your balance system can do and what the world demands of it suddenly becomes visible. And sometimes that gap is catastrophic. The solution doesn't require anything extreme. Walk on grass occasionally. Choose a path with a gentle incline. Find a route through a park where the ground varies slightly. Even walking barefoot on a textured surface at home, carefully and safely, provides meaningful stimulation to those sensory receptors in your feet. Your balance is not fixed by age. It is trainable at any age, and every varied step you take is a quiet investment in a future where you stay on your feet. Mistake number 7. Walking without intention. And this is the one that ties everything together. Most people over 50 walk because they know they should, because a doctor mentioned it once, because they feel guilty about not exercising, because they read somewhere that 10,000 steps is the magic number. And so they walk. Distracted, disconnected, just getting it done. But here is the truth that most health content never quite reaches. Walking is not just a physical act. After 50, it is one of the most powerful medicines available to a human being. For the heart, for the lymphatic system, for mood, memory, bone density, joint health, blood sugar regulation, and the quiet architecture of your mental well-being. But medicine only works when it is used properly. Walking with intention means having a purpose beyond simply moving your legs from one place to another. It means noticing your posture, feeling the rhythm of your breath, paying attention to how your feet meet the ground, choosing your route with some thought, walking with presence, in your body, in the moment, in the world that surrounds you. Research suggests that mindful walking, walking with deliberate attention to the physical and sensory experience, produces measurably greater reductions in stress hormones, greater improvements in mood, and greater cardiovascular benefit than the same distance walked in distraction. Same steps, same time, same body, profoundly different outcome. Because your body responds not just to what you do, it responds to how you do it. I want to leave you with something. Not a checklist, not a reminder to like and subscribe. Something more than that. After 50, the relationship between you and your body asks something different of you. It asks for more attention, more patience, more honesty about where you are, not where you used to be, and not where you think you should be. And walking, this ancient, deeply human act, is one of the places where that relationship is tested and quietly built every single day. The 7 mistakes we talked about today are not failures. They are simply habits that formed in the absence of awareness. And every habit that formed without awareness can be changed with awareness. You do not need to overhaul your life. You do not need expensive equipment or more hours in your day. You need to walk the way your body was designed to walk. Tall, relaxed, intentional, with steps that honor where you are right now, not where you were 20 years ago. Because here is what I want you to carry with you when you close this video. The body at 50, at 60, at 70. It is not a body in decline. It is a body with different needs, different wisdom, different and remarkable strength. And when you meet it where it actually is, when you stop fighting it and begin truly listening to it, it will carry you further than you ever imagined possible. Every great walk begins with a single conscious step. Take yours today.